Once I heard about the release of Kentmere 400 and 100 for 120, I knew I absolutely had to get my hands on them. I wanted to take them out with me, see how they fit into my workflow, because they're really, really cheap film stocks. This is basically one of the cheapest black and white films that you can get that's actually good quality. So I wanted to take them out into the world, shoot with them, and see how they could fit into my workflow. Once I heard it was available at my local camera store here in downtown Camera, I went out there and I purchased 2 film stocks of each. I wanted to shoot them on my Fuji GSW 692, which shoots 6:9 images. I had a little bit of a break during the Christmas period and the New Year period, you know, that little bit of time where time ceases to exist. You don't know what day it is, you don't know what time it is. I wanted to take my camera out with me, go for a walk in my local area, but it was freezing cold. It was like -10, feeling like -20 with the wind chill, and I didn't want to freeze my off, so I decided to go for a drive instead. I went for a drive in my local area, just went behind parking lots, just went into different areas, see what I was able to get. There's actually a lot in my local area that I've never seen before. Maybe this is something that you can try to shoot in your local area, see what you can get. Because of the weather, I was only able to shoot 1 roll each of both of these film stocks. I still have another roll of each to shoot and play around with, but check out some of the shots I was able to get.
Sacrifice by The Weeknd has been named the #1 Canadian Song of the Year.
In terms of development, I got them developed in my local film lab called Downtown Camera here in Toronto, Canada. I also scanned them myself on my Epson V600 scanner. In terms of how the negative feels in your hand, it's relatively smooth with no curls on the ends or the edges, and it's relatively easy to scan. It doesn't pick up a lot of dust depending on the area that you scan them in. In terms of the images that I was able to get out of this film stock, I don't know what I was expecting to get, but I was really surprised with what I got. I got these images that are like a flat picture profile, if you know what I'm talking about. It's like the difference between the highlights and the midtones is not that much. You do see some difference between the shadows and the midtones. It does drop off a little bit. Your blacks get really, really black at some points, but the difference between the highlights and the midtones is not that much. It sort of reminds me of HB5, in that HB5 gives you a distinct look. And Kentmere definitely has a distinct look, different from HB5, different from FV4, and different from Delta 400. In terms of the grain pattern, the 100 is definitely smoother than the 400, but they do have grain in them. If grain is not your thing, then this is not the film stock for you. I love the sharpness that comes through in this image. Definitely not as sharp as shooting HB5 or shooting FV4, but for the price that you're getting this film stock at, it's definitely worth giving a try. If you like black and white, if you like Ilford film, this one is going to give you something different. And if you don't know, Ilford is the one that makes this film stock, so that's why I'm comparing it to different Ilford film stocks. I am going to be talking a little bit more in my blog, so make sure you check out my blog, filmstockreel.com. If you haven't, I'm going to put a link to my particular blog post talking about this film stock in the description down below. As I was talking about at the beginning of this video, I wanted to see how this will work with my workflow and see if I'm going to be able to get good shots out of this. And while I won't work with this if I'm working on a project, if I'm trying to print something, I would definitely be adding this to the rotation because I love the way that it looks. I love the way that it comes out. I love the way that it represents the different contrast values. I love the way that it looks. So if I'm shooting a project for social media, I'll definitely be using this film stock. If I'm shooting this around the way, just getting some shots, just going out there as I usually do, just trying to see what I can get on my camera. If I'm testing out a new camera, I'll definitely be using this film stock. This would definitely be added to the rotation, because in today's world where film prices are going up, for a company like Ilford to introduce a film stock like this at this price point, something that's much cheaper than anything else that they sell on the market, you gotta love them. You gotta love Ilford. You gotta support them. You gotta buy this film stock. You gotta test it out. You gotta shoot with it. You gotta play with it. And this is definitely something that I'm going to try out. This is definitely something I'm going to be shooting a lot more with, and it's definitely going to be added to the rotation. And that brings me to the end of this video. If this video has provided you any value, please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, as this goes a long way to making sure I produce more content like this on this channel. Until next time, make sure you stay safe, make sure you shoot film, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.